guys, Sasha here. Welcome back to Creative Frenzy. You might be wondering what on earth is going on here. Well, today I'm going to make some Easter or spring gift boxes out of these boxes that I made out of cardstock and decoupage some old book pages onto them. I made a bunch of them so that I could use them for different projects. So these are the ones that are left over from that project. So I thought today I would create something. I thought maybe you'd want to come along with me. So I have all these lovely different flowers. Most of these are paper flowers from the dollar store. So if you didn't have any of your own, like die cuts or things like that, the dollar store has some really pretty ones. I have quite the variety here. And then I also have some of the smaller ones, which are quite nice too. And then you're going to need some, well, I also have these ones. These are from AliExpress, but they're, a little bit different. So it all depends what the look you're going for, okay? You're going to need some copper wire. Cheap stuff from the dollar store. Don't use your expensive jewelry wire for this. Just get a cheap roll of this at the hardware store even, okay? Dollar store, hardware store, either one will have it. It doesn't matter. I have some moss that I got at the dollar store. So this one comes with a bunch of different colors and different styles of moss. And this comes with just the preserved moss. So I'm not sure which I'm going to use yet. So I figure I'd have these on deck for whatever. And then I also have these. I might not use these because they don't really fit in with the style of what I'm going for. So this might not work. Unless you wanted to do a tropical one. I don't have any tropical flowers, so this is not going to work for this kind of project. But in the future, that might be something to keep in mind. If you have tropical flowers and you see these at the dollar store, and once you watch this video and you want to try it yourself, by all means, go ahead. I think that'd be pretty awesome. Make sure you get your hot glue gun ready. Make sure it's plugged in, nice and hot and ready to go. We're going to need that and have plenty of glue sticks on hand, okay? All right, so our box. So I'm going to keep it like this so it's a bit sturdier. We are going to make, you know those wedding hoops, embroidery hoops with the flowers on the inside? That's kind of the idea in this concept. So what we're going to do is we're going to use wire instead of an embroidery hoop. And we're going to use these paper flowers instead of silk ones. You could absolutely do it the other way in a small way and put it all onto the box and have it as a gift. Perfect. I don't have any silk flowers besides these ones, and I don't have any embroidery hoops. So we're going to make do with what we have, okay? So I'm going to grab a jar. So this is a candle jar. It's nice and wide. It's not a thin one, so it's a nice wide one. So I think this would be perfect for this kind of job. So let's get this out of the way for a minute. What we're going to do first is we're going to wire wrap that. So we're going to wrap our wire around it. Now, I've never done this before. I just sort of lay awake at night and I think about these things. And then, the concept sort of solidifies over time. So what I'm going to do is I am going to make a little loop on the end, okay? So some jewelry tools will come in handy if you have them. Michael's has them on sale. Sometimes you can find them at the dollar store these days too. Just a cheapy little set. That's fine. Not a big deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it around, okay? Maybe once, twice, 3 times, maybe 4. Oh, let's do 5. All right? So 5, and then we're going to stop around the same spot where this one is sort of left off, okay? So that's where we're going to snip it. Where are my snips? There we are. Okay. Woo! And it does not hold its shape very well, but that's okay because the idea is there, okay? See how we have a nice little hoop? So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one with a little loop on the end too. Because we might want to hang something off of it. We never know, right? That's the creative process. You never know what's going to happen until you go to create. So now we have our hoop, okay? Now you can train this to go as, you know, stiff as you want, really. If you want sort of more of an organic look, you can just sort of manipulate the wire quite nicely, okay, to make it look more organic. So it looks more like a wreath kind of thing, okay? You could use little mini wreaths for this too. I think that'd be really pretty. But I have wire on hand, so that's what we are using, okay? If you have that memory wire, you know, for bracelets, that would work on a smaller scale. That would work quite nicely. Okay, so here is the tricky part, okay? What we are going to do, I've never done this before, so I don't know how tricky this is, okay? But I need something to hold this together. So I'm going to take one of these ends, okay, and then go like that, okay? I am not overly concerned how this looks right now. We can always adjust that. Wire, copper wire especially, this thin stuff, the 20 gauge, you know, you can manipulate it quite nicely. So don't be too concerned about how it looks right now. We just want the general idea, okay? So I kind of like putting things on kitty corner when I do these things. I kind of like doing it that way. At this point, hot glue comes in handy, okay? And it's okay. We are going to cover it up with moss, okay? So let's put that in there. And you have to hold it to let it cool down. All right. You can blow on it to help it along. And you're gonna have to hold that in place for a little bit because it takes a while to cool. All right. Even though hot glue gun is fairly quick, it's not instant, unfortunately. You can just sort of coat it, okay? And that way. Now what you could do is you could put a piece of paper on there. Do I have a piece of paper? You know what? I do. Let's just do it this way. Boom. Piece of paper on top of that. Let's hold that in place, shall we? Before it drives us crazy. We're going to cover it up anyway, so not a big deal. Okay? Don't burn your fingers. It's not worth it. Okay? There we go. Hold in place. Come on. Like I said, I've never done this before. I have no idea if it's going to work. I'm just playing. And these strings will drive you crazy. All right. That's enough of that. Oh my goodness. It's like dog fur, you know. It ends up everywhere. You just can't get rid of it. Okay, so putting a little piece of paper helps, okay? It doesn't mean you need that big a piece. It doesn't really matter too much. All right, so we can just go like that. You can have a cut out, you know, a little circle out of cardstock and do it that way too. That's okay. You know, use whatever you have in hand. Okay, so we have the basic shape. Okay, I kind of like that. And then you can sort of play around with it and see how you would like to adhere it together, or if you want to keep it apart. Okay, but we can play with that later too. So now it's a question of building up our arrangement, right? So it's basically you're playing florist, really. So there's different kinds of mosses. Let's see. I've never opened this one. No. Okay, let's just dive in. Don't overthink it. There's some pretty ones in here. So there's some purple. Ooh, it's very Eastery. But I don't have purple flat. Well, I do have these ones. Ooh, like how pretty would that be? Okay, that's decided. I think that would be really nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to spread some of this out. I don't know how this is all looking. So you want to make sure that, this doesn't go near children, because it is real, or cats or anything like that. So you want to make sure kids and pets can't really touch any of this. So you want to display it on a shelf, right? So we sort of want to lay down kind of a bed, right? So spread it out a bit. Cover up that base, right? And if we don't cover it all up with this, that's okay. We can cover it up with flowers, okay? I don't have any leaves, though. That's the one thing I don't have, which is kind of interesting. Tends to want to still, because I just heated it back up again, so it's soft again. Okay. That's okay. We'll just hold it. So now we start building, okay? You could use this, you can make the box out of Easter paper if you wanted to make it more obviously Easter, but I was thinking more along the lines of kind of springish, So there's this kind of stuff, which I thought would be pretty to wrap around because it's so long. Is that even real? It must be. Like, how cool is that? I don't know what kind of moss that is, but that is pretty cool. So we could wrap that around because I don't have any leaves. So we're basically building, from the ground up here, but that doesn't mean we're stuck with only one thing. Okay? So just feed it through there. I don't know. It's curly and it's kind of doing its own thing, which is kind of cool. And you can tuck it in underneath and just sort of have it, float about kind of thing. And then just grab some more pieces. And we'll start on the other side. So it's just basically playing, and the same way you do scrapbook paper or scrap book page, it's the same kind of concept. You just sort of build, basically. I'm no florist, so I don't have a clue, but you can drape it on there. Do you need to glue it down? No, probably not, because this would be very difficult to glue down. Doesn't mean you can't do it in a few spots, maybe. This is really kind of cool, though. Just got this in the little craft section at the dollar store. Look how cool is that? All right, I'm just gonna, we'll anchor it with some flowers, okay? But here you're basically building a wreath. And you don't see too much of the wire anymore, so it doesn't really matter what kind of wire you use. You just see only little hints of it, so there we go. Okay, so how cute is that, right? So we're gonna make that one go back a little bit. We can bend it. I wouldn't want to hang heavy beads off of this, only because it'd probably be, it'll drag it down a bit too much, and I think you'd want that. So now we can put our flowers on there. So I have quite a few of these purple ones, and I don't really use purple too much in other things, but we could add some teal to it, a little bit of pink, something a little bit different. We shall see. Okay, so now it's just a question of building it up. Picking something that's a little bit more less like this folded and more pretty looking. So that's what we're doing. I kind of like the stems on here a little bit so that you can just sort of tuck it in. So just let that go like that and then tuck it in there. Oh, not too deep or else it'll fold over, but it'll hold the moss in place too. just playing. And if you have one that is kind of folded, you could potentially just sort of tuck it in a bit more, right? So it doesn't really matter if it's kind of wonky. Ah, that is hot tamales. So be careful. Please be careful. Okay. Okay. So, and from here, you can just add, I don't have any other purple ones. What else do I have? Oh, some teal. Oh, that's way too bright. There we go. And if you have one of those little mushroom birds, I think that would be really cute in there. You know, just sort of nestling in there. I think that would be very pretty. And it doesn't all have to be on the inside there, so you can just sort of tuck some on the outside. This one's a slight shade darker, so that can go there. But just sort of want to turn it around and try to do it from all sides. That's the idea anyway. And just sort of hold it in place so it'll actually pin everything else down. I think I got another blister. Yay! Okay, so let's get some small ones on there. I do like these little ones that I got at the dollar store. They're really good for these little craft projects. Let's see. What color should we use? We could use cream. No, we don't want to use blue. Okay, let's see. It's very neutral though, but it's pretty. So you just take your little wire snips, cut the little piece off. Sometimes that little green piece, you know, this little leaf part will come off because it's not glued down, but in this case we're good to go. So let's see if we can get that without burning myself this time. All right, we'll just tuck one in there. Tuck another one in. Do we want a pink one? Yes, maybe? Maybe not. Okay, we'll do another one of these. I was going to put some chocolates in here for Easter for my girls. I mean, this is a great little Easter basket for, you know, adults. My kids are not little anymore, so something a little bit more adultish would be very, very appreciated, I'm sure. But they still want chocolates, you know. I mean, we all love chocolate, so you could still put chocolates in there and whatnot else, which is quite nice. So you could still put little Easter eggs in there with some Easter grass or some shredded book pages or whatever you felt like doing. It doesn't have to be little kid style kind of thing. But yeah. Should we put one flower up top? I don't know if that'll work or not. I'm kind of iffy on that. But it does look pretty. So in the center, what are we going to do? I don't know. Oh my goodness. I wish I had those little mushroom birds, you know, but I don't. Let's see. What else do I have? Don't know. It's one of those things, you know, you don't always need something, but sometimes you just do. I don't know. And it's hard to guess. And short of going out and getting something, you know, because we don't always have the time to go out and get things, but there are these little bunnies that I've made over the years out of cold porcelain, which are quite adorable. I don't know if they'll work, but you know, it will definitely make it more Easter. Aren't they cute? You can make these out of hot glue gun too if you put them in like a little silicone mold and then you paint them up. Look how adorable are those. So you could always glue it on the outside of the box or just stand one in there. The problem is the back is flat, so you sort of have to, whoops, glue it on the outside kind of thing. But it is adorable. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, we will keep thinking on it, all right? But that is the basic construction. And then we can get little beads on these hook pieces, okay? And we're going to sort of overlap because we wanted to make sure that it has a little bit of support. And I'm going to dangle something off of it. So I have my jump rings, and we shall see what we can do. Let's see. I have these. I got these at the dollar store too. Look how pretty these are. They're just little beads. They're green. I think I got them around the holidays. They're very pretty. They come in a few different strands. Yeah, I don't know. I thought these would be kind of pretty to make little dangles. You know what I mean? So in gold. You could do copper. Doesn't matter. You know, let's do it in copper. Why not? We create as we go. Make our little top. Anybody really make a whole lot of jewelry anymore? I used to make it all the time. I used to wear it all the time, but I find myself over the last few years not wearing as much jewelry as I used to. So, which is kind of too bad because I have lots of lovely jewelry. Okay, so if you just want to make a little head pin kind of thing, so I just squeeze it together and then flatten it with my pliers just to make a little end so it doesn't get caught on anything, and then I just snip and then make my little loop and done. So I'm just going to connect them together. And there we have it. Probably a large one so we can see it dangle. Sometimes they can be so finicky, right? Pliers. Try not to burn myself in my hot glue gun while I'm reaching for things. Okay, let's see. Now we can attach it right above here too. And then it just sort of holds it together and we don't have to worry about it. But maybe not. I think I like it better on its own. That one. There we go. And yeah, it's finicky. But there we go. Look at how pretty. Can you even see it? You know, it's like a little miniature fairy garden, almost. I don't know. It's, you know, it's fun is what it is. That's what it is. It's just fun. It's something pretty to make. You get to use up some paper and supplies. You get your jewelry skills out, you know. And you get to show off. Because why not? What's the point of accruing all this knowledge if you can't show it off and tell people, you know, that you made it and show people how to do it for themselves? That's half the fun of all this, I think, anyway. Hang on. Okay, there we go. So just a little loop, just to make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. All right, almost done. Hope I wasn't out of frame too much there. Okay. Sometimes you just don't pay attention to what you're doing. Okay. All right. One more, and then we had. You could use crystal drops. You could do whatever you like. Crystal chandelier pieces that you get at the Goodwill, stuff like that. I've bought a piece of chandelier one time just to get the crystals off of it because they're pretty and they're not always easy to find. But how cute! So there you have it. Like, how cute is that on a shelf, right? Let me just get this out of the way. Make sure I don't burn myself or burn my studio down. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do the one today because this video is going to be way too long if I did both of them. But the next one I'm going to do pretty much in the same vein now that I've got one under my belt, it's like using some moss and some different things, just having fun with it. Like, how cute is that? Come on. You can't tell me that somebody wouldn't love that for Easter, right? Let's see if I can take you off my camera or my stand and so show you. There we go. Look at how cute. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, I really like how that turned out. And you can always put little feet on the bottom if you wanted to, if you had something else. But I think that is so pretty. And this is what my desk looks like. So yeah, I've done like 3 or 4 videos in a row, and yeah, this is pretty bad, but it's all in fun. And I will show you my other one because I didn't have a very good shot of it in the last video, but here is the Serenade one. Like, how pretty, right? So I use those flowers and this wooden block. My rubber stamps came off my wooden block. So I used some velvet trim and some flowers and then decoupaged it. Used the tags. Like, you can use these things for so many different projects. That turned out really well. Let's see if I can show you a little bit better. How pretty, right? So yeah. And if I had another little mushroom bird, I think that'd be so cute inside the, so here, let's do side by side, shall we? Sorry if I'm turning around too quick. Alright, so here is this one. Pretty spring. And here is the other one. So it's quite a bit taller. It's the same concept, using wire and stuff like that. But, look how pretty. Anybody would love to get that. I know I would. But that is the final result of our little experiment. So I hope you liked the video, and let me know if you try this. Or, if you come up with something better or something completely different that I never even thought about. I think that'd be really cool. So I'm going to put some chocolates in that and put one of my Easter cards with it and call it a day. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.